How many genders do you think there are?
That's a brilliant start. Well, 2, but I don't really care what people want to identify as.
Okay. How would you identify gender? Like, how would you define gender?
Oh, I'm going in a hole. Right, well, just whatever. It depends. You know.
Depends.
Yeah, I only really understand like transgenders and all that. Or like just, I almost said normal. Right, just basically what you have in a way, but.
What you have?
Yeah, like like what you have, but like you can be whatever you want. I don't really care, but like you do you, I do me.
What do you think of schools teaching that there's more than 2 genders, that there's 100 genders?
I think it's fine, just not like after primary school. I think it's fine.
Yeah. Why after primary school?
Kids are the more like they just take too much information and they don't understand it themselves. I think in like secondary school they understand things like a lot better.
How would you define a woman?
It's fun.
How many genders do you think there are?
I mean, it's hard to say, really. I suppose it's what you think you are, like what you identify as. So I think it's going to be different for everyone, so you can't really put a pin in it, can you?
How would you define gender?
Identity, I suppose. Like a choice, or like how you feel as an individual. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so in today's society we have gendered institutions like gendered areas, like toilets, for example,
Right.
or women's only spaces when it comes
sure.
to prisons and domestic violence centres. If gender's just what you feel like, your emotions, how would you categorise like these things? Like, what's the solution to that if anyone could just go into women's only spaces?
I don't know. I don't think I'm qualified to really like answer that. I mean, it's a tough one, really, because you can understand both sides of it. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's going to just be one you're going to have to navigate. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So yeah.
How many genders can you name? Go on.
Well, I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't know what all of them are. Like, obviously, male, female.
Any others?
There's a trans male, trans female.
Trans a gender?
Is that
transitioning from male to female?
right?
A male, female to male. So they'd consider themselves as...
Is that right?
Yeah.
Have I got the wrong end of the stick? I don't know.
You don't know nowadays.
I don't know.
So nowadays, schools are teaching at primary school level that there's 100 genders. What do you think about that?
I mean, if it's part of the syllabus, it's part of the syllabus. Yeah, it's going to be a part of their life when they grow up, so they're going to have to know about it anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's only starting to become... Like, it wasn't something that we learnt about when I was in school, so... But now it's becoming more prevalent, so you're going to have to learn about it.
Yeah. What do you think of children transitioning their gender?
Again, as I said before, it's a choice. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. So you can't, like, restrict someone for feeling a certain way.
At what age do you think you should be able to change your gender?
I don't know, like... Probably... I mean, I've never felt that way, so I wouldn't be able to say. I mean, I suppose maybe like a teenager, I guess. I mean, it gets a bit weird when like you start doing like injecting things and stuff. I feel like for young children that's probably a no-no, but again, it's like as you get older, you're going to feel more strongly inclined about certain things, aren't you? So,
how would you define a man?
I don't know, like myself or the guy holding the camera there. Like,
Did you assume his gender?
Oh yeah, I suppose so. You've caught me out. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, as I say, that's a bit of a loaded question, isn't it? I don't know. Like, I suppose it's like stereotypical, isn't it? Like, if you say, "Oh, what do you think of a man?" I'm going to give you a stereotypical answer because that's how I've grown up to perceive it. But maybe that's on me to change my perception. I don't know.
So what do you think about school teaching that there's like 100 genders then? Do you think that's 100? Right? Yeah, or more than 100?
Well, I'd need to hear the lessons, but yeah, if there are 100 genders and people can learn about them, great. You know, people can make their own decisions in the end.
Do you not think this would threat the safeguards on like women's only spaces by like getting rid of the definition of gender?
Well, I think that's a whole other issue because I know there's been examples of men who identify as women being in women's prisons, and I've read about that. I've not read about it the other way around though. I suppose potentially it could if you had
I mean, it would make you uncomfortable if there was like a woman, someone who looks like a woman in a man's changing rooms, for example.
I don't know if it made me feel uncomfortable. I just go, oh, that's interesting, and carry on getting changed.
Yeah.
But it depends on the individual. I mean, I've been around the world a few times, so I've seen things.
So how do you think we should deal with this issue then? Because if gender's anything, then, and we have spaces which are gendered for a reason, so what do you think we should do in this case then?
Educate, just let people know, because people have very kind of blinkered views about such things, I think. But look at other issues in society. Like look at race, for example. You know, people who are very set in their ways. Why? Because they're not educated and they don't know about it. And to me, it's all about educating people. But while they're at secondary school, it's too late once they're adults and grown up and shouting abuse at people. It's too late then.
What do you think they should be educated on?
The facts, or you know, or just to make people realise there are different views. Not traditional views aren't necessarily the right views. There are a variety of views in life.
So it's more about education on like different opinions.
No, an opinion is an opinion. An opinion is not necessarily fact, is it?
But so, if we can't define gender, then like what do we do?
If you can't define gender,
yeah, because you said it's a very subjective thing.
It's a very personal thing. I said, not necessarily subjective.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm a part-time lecturer. That's one of the reasons why I agreed to do this. And we've all been encouraged to put what pronouns we want in our signature.
Yeah.
But I haven't. So I don't see the point. It's because it's an individual choice if you want to do it. So I haven't put he/they or whatever, because my name and people who know me will know that I identify as a man.
Oh.
How many genders do you think there are?
Multiple. I don't think there's a limit to it, really.
How would you define gender?
Sorry. I don't know, really.
How would you define a woman?
A woman?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think gender's anything you want it to be, really. It doesn't have to have a label on it.
How many genders do you think there are?
Well, I think there's that many as people feel to have one, so certainly more than 2 or 3.
How would you define gender?
I think it's a definition which is possibly preoccupied, so feeling... Well, I only have a definition that I learned, which is that there are 2 genders, so I don't think that I have a proper definition.
Why do you think there's more than 2 genders then?
Sorry?
Why do you think there's more than 2 genders?
Because people might have problems feeling either male or female.
What does it mean to feel female or male?
Behaving according to your roles and be happy with that.
So is it about like social norms and stereotypes then?
I think that's not decided yet, is it? Because there's certainly some biological function to the 2 genders, but obviously there's another field that people might feel different, not being right in their bodies or just like to change them.
So is it to do with biology and anatomy then?
The traditional 2 genders that were transported over the centuries certainly are, but what is new is that people might not feel happy with that, and that means that we haven't got any norms, ethical, social norms for that. So this is just in the process of developing, just to take people seriously that are not happy with their defined, traditionally defined gender, basically.
What other genders are there?
Sorry?
What other genders are there other than male or female?
Well, in my country, they say there's a third gender that might be called diverse. I think there might be many more, but I'm not an expert in how people might feel in their bodies, and so I think there might be as many as there are, well, as people feel. So I think there are certainly more than 3, but I can't give you a number at all.
Do you think gender is still relevant today, like in our institutions and stuff? Do you think it still should be important?
I think it's certainly important, as you have to make sure that people feel happy, and they should be able to live to their identity. Yeah.
So in today's society we have like gender toilets, gendered prisons, that kind of stuff. So if there's more than two genders, where would these people who identify as other genders go?
I have no solution to that. I don't think that we will have 10. Well, it's easy with the toilets, isn't it? You just have unisex toilets. I think that's actually easily to find an agreement on. I certainly don't think that we will have 10 jails for all the different genders. I don't think this is going to happen.
Do you think women's only spaces are important?
Sorry?
Do you think women's only spaces are important?
Yes, I certainly feel that, but I think that there should be attention to male spaces as well, not because of the women, but because men are just preying on each other. So I think which is underestimated.
So if we create sort of a flimsy definition of gender, do you not think that would weaken the safeguards of women's only spaces, if anyone can go into them?
I don't think that anybody can go into that. You will need rules for that. So I think that the women's only spaces, well, I think that they are that they're mainly occupied by the conventional female gender, which may be obvious. I haven't got another answer to that.
So so say if a biological man wanted to go into a woman's only space, would they need any like certificate, do you think, or anything like that? What's to say that they are?
I think that's unsolved, is it? I don't think, well, I'm not sure.
How many genders do you think there are?
Oh, I think there are like 5, 4. Don't know.
Can you name all the genders?
I read something about it. Sorry.
Can you name all the genders?
Sorry.
Can you name all the genders?
Oh my God. I can't. I read something about it. I'm sorry for this interview. I know there's male, female. You know. Okay, gender. There are. Well, I'm just not my language, English, so I can't explain what I want to do, what I want to say.
Yeah.
But I think there are more than 2. Okay.
Why do you think there's more than 2?
Why?
Yeah.
Yeah, because some people don't feel well in their bodies with the feelings and stuff, so they just feel they have to change their gender. Right?
How would you define gender then?
Ooh. So of course there's male and female because I don't know these 2 genders, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't know, because there's women gave birth, right?
Yeah.
And that's it actually, but I don't know. Oh, that's a difficult one. I don't know.
So how would you define a woman compared to a man? What makes someone a woman?
A woman is a woman because we are different, like our bodies are different, because she can give like birth. Yeah, because of that.
So do you think it's a biological thing then?
It is, but if someone don't feel good in his body, so it's not his fault. So
Yeah, of course.
it's okay like that.
So do you think it requires like changing your body to be a different gender?
If we speak in a biological way, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.